Hello, this is Nitin Dahad with EE Times. I'm now talking to Erzsébet Fitori with the SNS JU, which is a European Union program. Erzsébet, hello, how are you? I'm going to ask you to explain it because I might get it wrong.
Thank you very much. It's a great pleasure to have this conversation. So indeed, my name is Erzsébet Fitori, and I am the Executive Director of the Smart Networks and Services Joint Undertaking. It's almost like a tongue twister.
Yes.
Who are we? The SNS JU is a public-private partnership. We are an EU body, a partnership between the European Commission as its public member and the 6G Industry Association as its private member. And our, basically our program is a research and innovation program towards 6G, future connectivity, smart networks and services. We are implementing EU funds. We have an allocated budget of 900 million euros from Europe's flagship research fund, the Horizon Europe Fund.
Okay.
And this is matched by different types of private contributions. So in total, it's a research and innovation investment of 1.8 billion euros.
Wow, that's quite big. And how long, when was this established?
SNS JU was officially established in 2021 by a council regulation, and we have become financially autonomous in 2023 and the end of 2023.
So that's quite interesting because I think I first went to Oulu in 2018 to see their 6G flagship work. So I think obviously they're a key part of your program, I guess.
Indeed. Our program builds on a very strong community of academic but also industrial researchers who have been working on advanced communications already in the 5GPP and now on 6G in the context of SNS JU.
Now, people get the wrong impression sometimes about bureaucrats, and but you've actually got a strong industry background, so you're coming from industry, so you've got a strong sort of attitude towards how things are done. Is that right?
That's absolutely right. I have joined the SNS JU in 2023, and this is my first real public sector job. When I was young, I was teaching at a university, so that was the closest to being public sector. But indeed, after that, I was Director General of large pan-European trade associations in the connectivity sector. And then most recently, I was representing Vodafone Group.
That's right, yes. I think I had a look at your profile. And so with the SNS JU, what are the big programs? How does that sort of translate into the funding and the work you're doing? How does that translate into things we can see?
Our working method is actually to establish, first of all, through a very large organization called Networld Europe, a strategic research and innovation agenda, and then work on that basis as our sort of guiding vision with annual work programs. Each year we publish a work program, and then on that basis we publish a call for proposals.
Okay.
Then proposals are evaluated, winning proposals are selected, and then grant agreements are reached with those selected proposals. So this is sort of the life cycle of research and innovation actions, projects.
Yeah, and I think there was one announced earlier this year which ended in September, the call for proposals. So
Indeed, and what we can see on the basis of this last call for proposals is that there is a heightened interest in our program.
Good.
There is a heightened interest in 6G, and I think there is a growing and increasing realization of how important future connectivity will be for industrial competitiveness, for economic security, for defense purposes in the future.
Now, we've got the rapid advance of AI in the last 2-3 years as well, and generative AI. So I guess it's pushing some of that research into new dimensions, is that right?
Actually, it has been recognized by our excellent research community very early on how transformative AI will be for future connectivity and services. Roughly 2/3 of our ongoing projects are researching different aspects of the use of AI in future 6G networks. And the vision is that 6G will be the first AI native technology, first AI native communications technology. I think from a forward-looking perspective, what will be very important is also to experiment with how future networks will be serving the AI continent, the increased use of AI applications. I think it is clearly recognized most recently by Professor Draghi when he reflected on how his report has been implemented 1 year on, that advanced connectivity, advanced communications will be key enablers of the AI revolution in Europe, but also for other critical technologies such as supercomputing, quantum computing, or semiconductors, for example. So I think that connectivity will have, going forward, a even more dual role, if you like. It is a critical technology and a critical infrastructure on its own right.
Correct.
But it is also a key enabler of other critical technologies.
Yeah, and I think one of the things when we were having our pre-conversation is you talked about the visions of 6G and from what you see in the community right now is around this multi-domain orchestration, and I think that multi-domain orchestration could also be enabled by AI elements.
And undoubtedly it will be. Indeed, I think that we have seen, of course, a huge leap when we moved from 4G to 5G in the capabilities of the technology. But I think that we still remained in the realm of connectivity. Faster connectivity, more reliable connectivity, more adaptable connectivity with slicing. But with 6G, I think we are moving outside of the realm of connectivity, and it will be indeed a multi-domain orchestration. As I mentioned, the first AI native network, so AI will be underpinning it all, but also with integrated sensing and communications. We envisage that 6G will be actually a sensing and advanced positioning network, which opens up, I think, an entirely new kind of area of possibilities of how this network or network of networks will be used in the future.
A lot of what I've been talking about and writing about recently is around edge intelligence. So when you talked about ambient sensing, you're just looking at possibilities in terms of ambient intelligent sensing, and I think that it's definitely going to be there by the time 6G comes.
And that is also, I think, one of the key domains where research is ongoing. So actually cloud, edge computing, and integrating it into this federated, intelligent communication system is one of the key areas indeed. I would also highlight one more dimension, if if this can get even more exciting,
Yeah.
which is really the integration of space and ground networks, so really non-terrestrial and terrestrial networks.
That's right. You announced a recent relationship with ESA.
Indeed, we have signed a memorandum of intent for closer collaboration between the European Space Agency and SNSD in view of facilitating the access of our projects to the in-orbit, but also the ground facilities of ESA to actually really carry out testing and piloting of their solutions in space.
Now, I guess you see frustrations and challenges as well, and I guess there are lessons to be learned from things like, how far we've come or not come with 5G.
I think that if we look into the future and what could we do better and more in the future, I would say that the first thing is really to build on the strong foundations that we have. I really genuinely believe in this collaborative model that we are harnessing. I think it really works, that if we want industrial competitiveness, we should have industry and the public sector closely aligned. However, there are learnings, and I think that that is the second element. And indeed, one of the key areas where I would see learnings is actually to invest more resources into experimenting with these new technology capabilities. I think this is something that was not done enough with regard to 5G. And as we have just discussed, 6G will bring even more futuristic and more novel capabilities. And I think that investing actually in experimentation on how you translate the technological capabilities, the very futuristic use cases into business cases. How do you bring together those who are providing the technology and are very passionate about it with those who need to adopt and integrate and invest in these technology upgrades? So really building services, building applications, but ecosystems on which these are built will be very important.
Part of that is standards, and I think, I've lived through the history you have as well, where EU has been very instrumental in the 3GPP and the 3G, 4G, 5G, etc. In 6G, I've seen over the years that I've been reporting with the Times that there are programs in the US, there's programs in Japan, China. So I guess this is going to be more of a global collaboration to try and figure out the standards. And so how do you plug in with what you're doing with what's happening around the world? I guess there must be lots of interconnects.
Indeed, our program's success and impact is measured by KPIs. And one of our KPIs actually relates to contributions to standardization bodies. So far in our program, we have seen more than 1,000 contributions to different standardization bodies by our projects, which I think is a very important metric. And indeed, this is something that we already take into account when we evaluate the proposals. How strong is their plan to actually contribute to the standardization process? The other question that you have asked is about international collaboration. Indeed, our collaborative model goes beyond the EU. First of all, Horizon Europe has a wider reach because it's the EU plus the associated countries to Horizon Europe. So we have non-EU member states actually also participating in our program. But also from the outset of SNS JU, there have been dedicated projects for international collaboration. So we have projects with the United States, with South Korea, and also with Japan.
Okay. Tell me, we could talk forever, so I think I'm probably going to try and sort of round off now. But what are the key things that you think our global audience needs to sort of know about what you're doing and why it's important?
I think that technology, 6G, but also these adjacent technologies, AI, supercomputing, new microelectronics, will have a very transformative impact on our lives. Also, we live in a changing geopolitical reality. So I think that for the future, what is really important that we actually invest our resources in a way that they address these shared challenges. Not only resilience, which I think is one of the key capabilities, but also societal challenges such as sustainability, or for networks to be trusted and secure by design.
Well, Erzsébet Fitori, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.